But ladies and gentlemen, Pofke versus DOWSEY. This is going to be fun. Two very high quality competitors, and it's still very interesting to see how DOWSEY holds up against some of these FCL people, because we've seen him blow through a lot of very powerful people, but a lot of the SCL folks, we don't necessarily know how he matches up against.
Well, yeah, certainly. That's part of it. And that's actually one of the tricky things about this, too, is that Pofke only played an abbreviated season last season themselves in Challenger. They only played 40 total games, so we don't know how good they are either. We can see them play, and they certainly seem good, but how you hold up competitively is a different question. But in those 40 games, a sniper win rate nearing 90%, and they won the majority of their spy games. So small sample size, and in Swiss it means less when you join late, to be sure. But when they did play, they were dominant.
Yeah, absolutely. But another thing to keep in mind is that we've had some time between the end of SCL4 and the start of SCL5. I know DOWSEY hasn't been playing all that much SpyParty in the offseason. Mind you, he's picked it back up again pretty damn fast, but
that was the big question, right? Is he going to be playing a lot? If he's in practice, he's a force to be reckoned with. If he's rusty, makes a big difference. And he was definitely a little rusty in the Winter Cup, for example, where he narrowly lost both of his group stage matches and did not make the tournament there. So that's certainly a concern. But based on the early return, so to speak, DOWSEY looks like he's been pretty active and is probably going to be a force to be reckoned with again.
And for the first time this evening, we're going to get to see some balcony.
Oh, boy. Well, exciting for the competitors, not so much for the casters always, but we'll make the best of it. Balcony. Yeah, we'll make the best of it.
All right, to run through the bans real quick, we have DOWSEY banned Gallery, Pofke banned Library, DOWSEY picked Veranda 5 and 8 for the double map, Pofke picked Balcony 2 of 3 for the double map, then DOWSEY has Ballroom 4 of 8 for the single map, and Modern 5 of 8 for the last single map if we get there.
Very exciting.
We get to see Veranda, we get to see Balcony, there's more Ballroom involved. I am excited about this set of maps.
Yeah, this is a very exciting venue setup I really like a lot. And I'm also excited because these two did not meet last season because of the Swiss setup. So they have not played each other competitively yet.
This is going to be a first, and it's going to be a big one. DOWSEY versus Pofke starting things out on Veranda and a 5 of 8 with DOWSEY on the spy, Pofke on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Opening the game at Statutes. I actually like this, I think, because being seen at a pair of statues later... Oh, that's a swap! That's a green swap to open the match. Oh, man, we're going to have to pay a lot of attention to this. It's a highlight who goes to take it.
The question is, so what's weird there is you can do the instant white swap, right? That's pretty standard. Sometimes you do a green almost out of muscle memory and they're like, crap, that doesn't make as much sense. In this case, Pofke kind of just hung out without moving their laser much. It's almost like they didn't look at the statue at all. So it's entirely possible they might have it down to 2, and the other person being a highlight is really big in that regard, as you mentioned. Or they might not even know a swap has taken place. But if that's the case, DOWSEY's either assuming they didn't rotate, which would be a very interesting thing to notice and exploit, or they actually think that, maybe I'm okay leaning into this. The question is, do they know? Do they try to finish or not, is really the question.
Yeah, lots of lowlights, lots and lots of lowlights. Has it down to 3, in fact.
Okay, so it looks like he does feel confident about the swap. And this is actually rough for DOWSEY then,
Yeah.
because now you are relying on the AI to do something.
Look at this. It's DOWSEY, it's the White Swapper, and it's Smallman, because there's always a chance it's Smallman.
Yes, yes. If you think you have this kind of advantage... Oh, okay, there we go. Finally bump back down. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I've done that before, where I'm like, I'm 99% sure it's one of these people, but I'm not low light and Smallman. What do you think, I'm crazy?
Yeah. Flirt done, swap done, one inspect. I don't think DOWSEY gets away with this.
No, I don't think so, but I do think it's possible that this AI could get shot. I don't think they have to do a lot for that to happen.
Well, DOWSEY stepping into front statues is not going to help. And certainly not a fingerprintable one.
Well, that's interesting, because here's the thing. If he gets the inspects, and he gets one more fingerprint, if Pofke is waiting on the banana bread to decide who to shoot here, can he play a silent game and as one of two people...
Briefcase for the second, and that's going to do it.
I was just trying to set the stage just in case, but instead Pofke's all over it. I'm really curious about that swap. I don't quite see the logic of the green there, unless he thinks he caught him on not rotating to the far left. Maybe he thinks he didn't get it right away. Maybe he thinks it was blocked. But I think in that case, a white makes a lot more sense than a green. But
yeah, could have, again, as you were saying, could have just been a muscle memory swap as well.
I've done it. I've intended to white swap, and then just sort of green swapped anyway, because you're always thinking about hitting those ATs. It actually happened to me in a practice set on Aquarium earlier today. One of my opponents did the exact same thing. It's just a hard thing to shake.
Either way, opening game goes to Pofke as he steps into the spy side of things in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, DOWSEY confirming in chat, it was supposed to be a white. Man, I'm telling you, you can't turn the AT switch off. You've done thousands and thousands of them. It's really hard to fight against that.
Yeah, it's true. Attempted walking bug, that was going to be basically invisible no matter what happened. It didn't take, but that's okay. It didn't have to.
Didn't have to, but Pofke, boy, you could tell they just really want to make some progress, and they're going to run over here and I guess hope Duke enters.
Yeah, at least be in a good spot to keep an eye on him. But nobody's entering his conversation. He has to take a sip of the drink just so we can hang around a bit longer.
And Duke is just... I mean, the upside is that Duke, being an AI, at least, is doing a lot of things at mission sites.
Yep.
Let's see.
He knows he's behind the curve, so he takes a watch check, hits the green on it, and steps in to prepare for the contact.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I want to see if DOWSEY reacts in the next few seconds.
That's a pretty nice one.
That's not bad. DOWSEY zooms in on the list because he's afraid that's what the banana bread's covering for. Banana bread actually, first of all, it's real, so it's not covering for anything necessarily. But I actually kind of like it after the time ad, because right around the time the sniper might be about to notice it, they're reacting to the BB instead, and after that, it's a lot harder.
Three minutes and 10 on the clock. We have the one mission done and no other progress.
Duke is back at the exact same statue. That's not what you want your AIs to be doing. Not only can you not flirt with them now, but now they're acting like an AI. And a lot of people will lowlight for that second useless statue visit if there's no fingerprint on it.
Duke is just being rude at this point. He's like steadfastly refusing to get flirted with.
Yeah, there is sort of a haughty air about that character too, isn't there? There's a, do you know who my father is?
Oh my god, he went to statues!
Well, at least he's completed his inspects. That's better than nothing. A green purloin has taken place in the meantime, by the way, and I don't know. I'm not sure if DOWSEY was looking or not. He seemed a little preoccupied with the right side of the party, but we're going to find out pretty soon. He will be confident if it comes off, though, that it had to be someone on the left, because people have not been changing positions.
He's not looking at the list. He hasn't seen it yet. Now he looks.
Oh, wow, it looks. It kind of looks. Oh, my goodness, Pofke. Yeah.
Wow.
He returned it. Oh, my goodness, what a move. But he did see it just in time. Yeah. I think he saw it before it happened.
I think he saw it in time because it's still there, but the highlights have come off already.
So here's the thing. The point of doing this is either to tilt them, confuse them, maybe, or more likely, throw off their mission count so you can finish. What?
Oh, that was just a swap. That wasn't an inspect. That was a swap. Now he's picking up the inspects after the fact.
Rocker was there.
Two inspects and a swap. And a bullet as well.
Yep, Rocker was at that statue before, but she was a lowlight. That was the plan, I think. He's thinking about framing Rocker for a green swap, but she's a lowlight and it doesn't work. And he was near the guest return shenanigans, so there we go. So if it's intentional, he's trying to frame Rocker, and this is actually one of the benefits of, like, say, the behavioral lowlights, if that's what it was. Let's see if we can find Rocker here. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find out when Rocker was low-lit, because this is very significant.
Rocker was low-lit on her way into that statue.
Yeah. I think
as
maybe...
she picked that statue up.
Yep. So I think the conclusion there was, I think one of his moves interfered with the other. Because of the weird Purloin shenanigans, DOWSEY lowlights Rocker because he doesn't think she could have been part of it, and then that's the person that he tries to frame for the swap. One hardtail move interferes with the other. That's rough.
Usually it goes the other way. Usually hardtails can snowball into each other, where while the sniper's dealing with the fallout from one, you're off doing another.
Yep.
But this time the opposite happened.
Well, because one of the hardtails was two hardtails. Actually. So that mixes thing up just a little bit. So if he's confident she's not one of the rejectors, by the way, she can't be either one of the rejectors. He can lowlight her if she's not in either reject chain, even if he missed one entirely. So if he's confident she's even just not in the second one or whatever, he can lowlight her for that, and then she is unframeable.
Indeed. Either way, let's get on into the next one. DOWSEY on the spy again. Pofke on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And that is a good win for DOWSEY. Very strange game. Pofke's certainly shown you a little something, though. You got to be on your toes the rest of the match now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But here's one thing that boded really well for that. DOWSEY, green microfilm early, but I think it's totally off screen. DOWSEY, I mentioned when the BB went off in that last game, I said he'd zoomed in on the Purloin because he was worried it was covering for that. Given how much he got out of that Purloin and return at the end, makes me think that he's expecting Pofke to do Purloin. He's watching it inordinately.
Yeah, I think you're right, because that would have been an amazing Purloin against in the vast majority of situations. I'm very impressed that DOWSEY was able to get as much out of that as he did.
Yeah.
Early highlight, blue microfilm in pocket, which I'm pretty sure was completely unseen, as you were saying. Zoomed in, not looking at DOWSEY.
Yep, and now if you go to green, you're going to have so many opportunities to get a very heavily occluded microfilm done at green bookshelves.
And that's exactly what DOWSEY's going for.
Yep. And in fact, look at that. He's crowding Teal specifically so that once she leaves, he'll be in the most occluded position. And it doesn't matter because Pofke is not even looking over there at all. The Amba is over here on the right, and Rocker is at her second statue, so Pofke is very preoccupied. I think a red test would have been fine there.
Free transfer.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's the second one, and it's done. And though you're a highlight, you're probably not a huge one at this point. You're running a little low on time for just one mission, but it was one of the longer ones.
Yeah,
potentially.
This is true. Stepping in for both the Contact and the Seduce. Seduce goes first for a green test and 51%. Contact goes second on a green test and 2
boom, boom,
lights?
Boom.
Oh
3
my
greens.
Gosh, then the Purloin comes off as well.
That is not what we mean by a 3 green game. Green flirt, green BB during the talk, so it looked like a white anyway. Then the Purloin. Sorry, that last one was white, I believe, but they gulped. And I don't know if that's seen.
That was one hell of a sequence. And now, other than the flirt, we just need one more mission.
Yeah, now we're in really good position. But we haven't been to statues at all, and we are one of the remaining suspects, and we were in the general area when the Purloin went off. Do not discount the importance of that. I will say that Pofke seemed very tentative on some of those lowlights, but they've taken a few more since. They seem a little more confident now. It is very much narrowed down all of a sudden. At first, it looked like DOWSEY was going to, quote-unquote, get away with that. Get away with that meaning there's still half a dozen people left, for example.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's way narrowed down. Pofke just sort of took their time with it.
Minute left to play.
Okay, I take it back. If they loaded Smallman, they're pretty confident. Never mind.
We need one flirt and anything. But anything is very, very hard to come by when you're one of 3 possible spies.
Yes, I think you'll probably get away with the flirt, but what's that last mission going to be? I think their best option is probably Bug, but what you really need is one of these other people, Taft in particular, who's picked up a highlight since we started talking. Taft in particular, if they go to statue at the far end and you do something on the other end, split the sniper's attention, there could be a big opportunity here, but you need a little help from the AI, I think. Maybe pick up that briefcase. He's right next to the briefcase. Nope, Walt's going to beat him to it.
We're in the beep beeps. We don't have a fingerprint to work. We don't have any inspects to work with. Those are off the table.
Taft is
Bug
talking.
or swap.
If Taft talks. Taft talked a little bit. Oh, goodness. No shots coming.
Can't take that bug. It's too risky. It's too exposed. There it is. The arm is there. Does he see it? Of course he does. DOWSEY ducks the other way. 6 seconds.
Whoa!
What the?
Missed shot.
That was a missed shot. That had to be a missed shot.
I think it's a low light. He just ducks around. He misses the first bug. He walks all the way around and gets another one, and it locks onto Rocker instead. It's a missed shot.
Oh my gosh.
We were saying, how does he finish here? It doesn't look like the AIs are going to do anything, so that's it. And you were right. He's going to get seen for that bug. He was seen, but he doesn't get shot.
Oh my god, DOWSEY getting away with one there. Pofke's gotta be shaking his head about that.
I have 2 things to say. First of all, Slappy, please don't say anything. Please, we know you're thinking it. It's okay. You don't even have to say it. The second thing I want to say is usually when you pick one of the faster characters in the game, which Alice is, it's not for this reason. It's not to outrun the bullets. It's more so you can move from mission site to mission site a little quicker. In this case, you gotta wonder if a slower character would have died.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they certainly would have. Either way, Pofke needs a spy win here to bring it back to tied. DOWSEY on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Oh, geez. If you're Pofke, you just gotta shake that off. That is just so tough. DOWSEY, no stranger to it, by the way, did get a missed shot of their own in SCL last season. Immortalized, by the way, on stream in one of my all-time favorite SpyParty clips, where he literally broke his microphone screaming into it briefly.
Oh my god.
Went on to win that set anyway, though. Pofke hoping for the same result.
We shall see. Stepping in next to both the selection target and the ambassador, I don't think he'll risk a bug here. It's too exposed. Gets the flirt instead for 51%. And going for the early briefcase to give himself options with the fingerprint moving forward if he can hit the difficult, which he cannot. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah. That's a little rough. If you can get the flirt done very quickly on Veranda, you can start planning out pretty much everything else. A lot of things open up for you. In this case, gonna go make progress elsewhere.
Accidentally sipped, I think, instead of putting the briefcase down.
Uh-oh. And we're down to 2.5 minutes already, and only half a flirt is done.
No.
And the ST...
Come back.
Oh, I call that 2 ships passing in the night. That's when you start to walk in the general direction of a seduction target. They walk in the opposite direction, and on a big venue, it's particularly bad. And look at this, Queen goes all the way to Blue Bookshelf. You got to do something else now.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, stepping into statues now is where we're going to head, but with only 2 minutes to play, and all we've got is that flirt, this is not looking very auspicious for Pofke.
No, and the inspects help. At this point, you're just trying to make any progress while Queen is off doing whatever Queen is doing, queenly things, I guess. Looking at statues, just generally being hard to flirt with, really.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You look over, maybe you notice what they're doing, but all you're really registering in your mind is still not easily flirtable.
I think... Oh god, it happened again.
And there we go.
Generally speaking, the queen is a hard person to flirt with.
I would say that's true in life and in this game. Yeah. That's pretty rough. She's just not having any of it. I'm sorry. I just think someone dressed in a leopard print shirt, not really the Queen of England's type.
Contact comes off. A decent number of lowlights coming from it as well. 1 minute to play. Do we even finish missions at this point? Is that a thing that's going to happen?
Maybe? I don't know. I think you need a time ad, and you got to do it soon before, as you like to call them adorably, the beep beeps, which I love, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think at this point you have to count on a shot, and I don't think DOWSEY's the type to do it. The AIs are just not busy enough. You're going to need a lot of AI luck. Boy, I think that bug pretty good looking. Wow. I really like that. Geez, earlier in the game, he gets away with that, and the whole thing looks different. Because look at this. He has partial progress on Inspect and Seduce. If he'd gotten a time ad in somewhere, he'd actually be in a decent position.
He's going to get a time in here now, but it's a white test, not able to hit the green. And I think DOWSEY has to, at very least, get a huge amount of information off this. But he's not really reacting to it that well, to be honest.
No, I think he's just grinding it out there. He's just saying, I'm pretty confident about this. I don't want to give this game away. I just want to be careful. But look at him. He rotates all the way to the right. He went all the way to the right to make sure Twin was not swapping there. He is not positive it's Pofke, or he would not be looking that closely.
There's a swap to finish it off. It's a green test.
He actually got depending here now.
No,
wow,
it was a white test on the swap. It was a green test on the purloin. The fact that he even got depending is huge.
It's incredible. That's incredible. He did have to do it there. He had to do quite a few things very, very quickly. What's really remarkable, though, is he was not, as he finished up those missions, the absolute obvious clear #1 suspect. Again, DOWSEY went all the way to the right, which is no small time and attention commitment on Veranda, to check out that statue that Twin was holding, because a highlight was on the far end that actually was very fortunate for Pofke in the end, that another highlight was on the opposite end of the venue. But DOWSEY went all the way over to make sure. So Pofke was not, the biggest suspect necessarily at that point, which is really impressive. Amazing he even got to that point, but does not get the win.
Impressive stuff. Not impressive enough. DOWSEY, after being gifted a game in the second, manages to come out of Veranda ahead 3-1. Balcony is the venue of choice next. DOWSEY on the Spy, Pofke on the Sniper in 3-2-1 playing it.
Now, DOWSEY only played Veranda twice all last season, and he only played Balcony 5 times. He did not play these venues last year, basically at all. Pofke played Balcony just 6 times, won all 3 of his Sniper games and 2 of his Spy games.
Certainly not the flirt start you want. Although DOWSEY is very much playing on the fact that he didn't talk in his first visit to the conversation.
That's a great way to fish for a low light. Yeah, absolutely. Great way to fish for a low light. Leave the conversation without talking and no BB going off. A lot of people will low light for that.
Yeah. But look at the time now, 1:15. And even though DOWSEY is far from a suspect, he's going to have a hard time finishing this, especially with the 3 flirt. White test on the first, 34%. No contact yet with a minute to play either.
Yeah, sometimes you want to fish for that low light by leaving without talking, and another thing is you want your first flirt to be a really good one. Makes a big difference whether it's white or green when you have to waste all that time there.
And the end of
There's the contact coming off. One gets low lit.
One low light's not a big problem. The problem is they left during the talk animation, and some snipers will almost shoot for that, because if they were greening it, why would they green after someone left conversation like that? It's more likely that it happened during their white. It's not a foolproof thing, but sometimes it can give you almost a free win as sniper.
Second flirt, 68%. Not going to have time for the timer flirt. Second target leaves, though. You might be able to make something of this. Just maybe.
Nope. Could either flirt at windows or wait and see where they come in. Looks like DOWSEY's going to wait, and now they know they have to go after that move.
Expiration, but the shot comes off anyways, and it's not the right one. DOWSEY keeps widening that lead.
That's really big. This is the kind of swingy map you need to come back on if you're Pofke. Very interesting decision there. DOWSEY could have followed to windows, instead waited to see if they'd come back in, and the second they made their move, they said, nope, I've got to follow them. That would have been an interesting decision, though, because it was going to force overtime with a window flirt. Decent chance Pofke's going to get them if they hold their shot on Seek.
Yeah, absolutely, but it is hard to hold your shot on balcony, particularly on balcony. It's so hard to do.
Don't I know it?
Next one up, Pofke on the spy, DOWSEY on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Starting off at windows. Ooh, ST looked like we were going to join us, but they redirected. That is cruel.
Yeah, no kidding.
An ST following you to windows at the beginning of balcony, it's not a free win, but if you play clean after that, you're going to win most of the time. That is an absolute gift.
Not the best spot as far as distance to seduction target is concerned, but we'll see how this turns out in the long run.
Yeah, and we're at a minute 20, and we have no flirts, and our ST standing across from us. I think you either got to leave, BB and leave, or red flirt them to windows and hope for the best. You just can't take a bad flirt like this late in the game. You could do it to start and see if things line up a little better later, maybe, but you can't do it halfway through balcony.
Keep in mind, Bug is on the table, and the ambassador is right there. But
At this point, it's looking like the only way to go. Or you're hoping for a civ shot.
No contact yet either. 45 seconds on the clock.
This doesn't look like a complete. This looks like a please shoot somebody, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But you still have to contact, right?
I mean, yeah, at minimum, you have to, yeah, and you got to do it soon. They're waiting for everyone to get in. I'm not sure, has everyone been in at one point at any point in the game?
I don't think so. Now's the time.
Got to do it anyway now. It doesn't matter if you're going to give up low lights. Yeah, at some point, you just got to do it. Got to do it.
Press the button. Okay, we got the button. The button has been pushed.
It's going to knock out Slim. Walt's talking, but he's not in a very flirt-like position. He's kind of distant from people.
Yeah,
DOWSEY's going to hold the shot.
I don't think it's going to happen. Man, oh man, DOWSEY. Yeah, just didn't line up for Pofke this time around. The bug at the end. It was a chance, but DOWSEY was paying too much attention.
Yeah, that felt like a please shoot all game, really. Here's the thing, though. If that is a please shoot, I don't know. In that case, go ahead and flirt or red flirt and have it look suspicious, something. At that point, there's no downside, I think, because you were sitting there so long, that it doesn't really look that bad if you talk eventually, and you're not going to get paired with someone you're standing across from either, so.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, DOWSEY is making a name for himself here. This is some big plays so far. Up a considerable amount against a considerable opponent. Let's see if he can keep it going. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And DOWSEY's just playing with house money now. I mentioned this before in the previous set. When you're up big, you'll just lean into the coin flips and just force the sniper into difficult situations. Make them get it right every time. Be aggressive. That's what DOWSEY's doing here. He's talking during BB, but so are a couple of other people, maybe. Just going to try to complete, I think. And why not?
Absolutely. Hit the early contact. Now looking for a flirt. There we go. Green test. Chance for a 2 flirt. It won't be a 3 green game, but shooting for a 2 flirt is hard enough on its own.
Yep, just gonna lay low. Oh, wow. That will help quite a bit, and I don't see how they die if they hit this AT.
Yeah, if they hit this green test, I think... Oh, yeah, well, okay. This got more interesting.
Just a little bit, but look at the gap in the conversation. There's still a really good chance Seek's going to come here, unless the Amba does. Doesn't even matter.
Or unless the game ends before he gets the chance.
Yeah, well, let's see. Salmon was talking next to Slim and Seek early in the game. He was talking during the BB, and he just sort of hung out there. This is one of those weird things where I think he might have only talked twice. So even if he's crediting 2 green flirts, for example, one of the talks was the BB. So I'm not sure if he could theoretically be done there.
Yeah,
I don't think he could be done.
Yeah, this has been a rough time for Pofke. This could be it right here, in fact. It is 6-1 currently. Pofke needs to find something here if he wants to keep this match alive. We've seen a bigger comeback just this evening. Let's see if Pofke can give us another. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, not to take anything away from our esteemed competitors earlier in Copper, but coming back from this kind of deficit against someone like DOWSEY on the Sniper, little bit of a taller order. I should point out, by the way, there is an edge case way that Salmon could have been done. They could have talked and green BB during their own flirt talk and also two flirted. So I guess they could be done in that sense, but it's hard to imagine anyone's crediting that. I don't think Pofke was crediting that.
Yeah.
I think the shot's just a little premature, but I don't know if it was going to matter because DOWSEY was one more close AT away from winning it anyway, and one of 3 talkers high lit, so probably in a pretty good shape.
Yeah, that was everything lined up for DOWSEY in that past game. It was going to be hard to take that shot.
I think so.
Pofke with 1 flirt, now stepping in looking for a second. No contact yet. Now everyone's in conversation. No contact yet. There it is. It's a green test. Everyone was in conversation during it.
That's the minimum. You want to get that if you can at all. Yeah.
Here's the green flirt, 85%. It won't be hard to finish now. But he doesn't need to. DOWSEY takes a shot, and Pofke stays alive for the time being.
Well, balcony's a little random sometimes. Shots happen for all sorts of reasons. It's a reasonable shot, certainly. And as we can see, Pofke was already pretty close to getting the mission win, so they're put in a good position. I think maybe we're going to win either way. So that's the nice thing about balcony, at least. I mentioned it was swingy. That hasn't worked out so far, but it can work out in individual games at least and give you a little bit of an opening here. But DOWSEY has played a lot of ballroom, and that's where we're headed next.
Ballroom. This is, I think, still one of the more interesting maps in this game. It's home turf to the old guard, but it has changed quite a bit with the new art, and as well as that, just the amount of interesting situations you can get in with the cover from the conversation circles, the low sniper angle making Purloin difficult. Very interesting map to be playing on as Spy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has the longest history. When there was just one venue, back when they weren't even called venues yet, it was ballroom. It was old art ballroom, just a box floating in a gray void. That's what I learned on young whippersnappers. And I remember the day this came out. It's so much prettier, so much nicer. And it turns out, amazingly, one of the most balanced venues in the game competitively, which is why it's so interesting. The Spy can get a lot done, but as I mentioned before, they have just enough cover to make things interesting, but not so much that they can be reckless, like on something like Library, for example, or Tayen. They still have to be careful, and when you are careful, when you plan as the Spy, it is often rewarded.
And DOWSEY is going to be the first up to the plate in the Spy role. Let's see what he can do with it. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And in that old ballroom, there was no Purloin and no fingerprint, too, by the way. That hurt a little bit, because Purloin, as we now know, one of the most treacherous missions available in ballroom, at least from the sniper's perspective.
But also back when we have old ballroom, snipers were generally much worse at this game.
Yes, you think we're all pretty bad at this game now. Oh boy, we were even worse 5 or 6 years ago. We missed all sorts of things. I think the meta back then was 3 of 4.
Picking up a fingerprint on the first briefcase.
And I say it all the time, I love getting that early fingerprint. It's like that early flirt in the sense that you get a head start and you can start to plan. And spies, good spies in particular, when you give them a little breathing room so they can spend an extra 30 seconds somewhere in the middle of the game planning, they get very dangerous. When you don't have to just react in the moment all the time, and when you can plan things ahead, when you can keep an eye on the party, your options get better and better. And an early fingerprint is one of the things that does that for you. There's a difficult fingerprint attempt. Does not take, though. I like that decision a lot, though. If they get that, they're in a commanding position.
Absolutely. We still have the one fingerprint to work with. We still have half of a flirt. We don't have any mission completions, but there's still over 2 minutes to play, so we've got some time.
Yeah, I like the attempt there. It's a difficult, you're probably not going to get caught even for the attempt. You got the drink, but it turns out gulped it, by the way, because there's no purloin, it's not being looked for. If you hit that, you're just probably going to win if you play clean. And you still got other opportunities now to try to get a second fingerprint later. But time is ticking.
Minute and 45 now. Not much movement from DOWSEY in the last little while.
Yeah, really coming out of the gate moving, and then just immobilized.
Green purloin steps away from it.
And let's see who takes it. Hare takes it. The very next person takes it. You're not going to get a reject chain, but that fate is not even close to seeing. Pofke not even zooming in to look, clearly not even expecting a purloin at this point. Still hasn't seen it. Now maybe they have.
No reaction, though, so...
No reaction, no zoom. I mean, it's visible, but no zoom to confirm. I don't know. Maybe it's one... There comes a low light. That might be as a result of the purloin. See what happens to Twin.
It is hard to say, but I think no matter what the situation is, DOWSEY is in a good position suspicion-wise. He's got the hardtail done, but he's very low on progress. 50 seconds. Now, DOWSEY is by no means known to time out.
No, not generally. In Season 4, DOWSEY timed out. Oh, let me check. Carry the one. 0% of the time. 0 timeouts. Not a single timeout in Season 4.
30 seconds to play. We need a fingerprint and one other mission.
And what looked so promising for DOWSEY at the beginning just sort of slowed down. It really feels like that purloin was trying to prompt a shot, and it hasn't happened. And they know it hasn't, and now you got to do something desperate, and you're probably going to get caught for it.
15 seconds. Green bookcase?
Fingerprint into time ad? I would have gone the other way.
No, it's just he's just going to drop the book in.
And if maybe you're hoping you're low
across, there it is. It's not enough.
Wow. I mean, it's kind of amazing he got to that point. I guess he thought that it was his only option. I think time ad's a little safer. I think that works if you are, maybe you think I'm low lit. He did stay in one place for basically a minute, remember? And he got a green purloin and walked away. When you green purloin and walk away on ballroom, there's a non-zero chance you're just low lit. There's a really decent chance you're low lit just because you hit the green, just because you got out of there.
True.
So I don't actually mind the move because maybe he's low lit and you at least got to finish. I do mind a little bit, though, letting it get to that point. I think he really thought that purloin was going to prompt a shot. If so, you got to say, really good patience from Pofke to draw that out.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at this. DOWSEY's timing is incredible. That book went down at 0.7 seconds.
Ooh. Let's say probably didn't mean to cut it quite that close, but I mentioned earlier, outran a bullet with one of the faster characters. The speed comes in handy here too. It doesn't quite work, but it gave them a chance at least at the end. But really, you just got to credit Pofke's patience. It's such a rare trait for a sniper, especially against a spy who's notorious for being active.
Pofke is now up to 3, but DOWSEY has the rifle. Let's see what he can do with it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now, remember in the previous set, I said if it gets up to 6-4, then I'll get excited.
Yeah.
Same thing here. Yep, then we'll talk. If Pofke can pull off this win, then things get very interesting.
Gets a highlight to start the game, but also the trio of inspects. That was not a bad bounce at all. It looked weird, but it looked AI weird.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. And I don't think DOWSEY is going to assume, he's not going to hand out a low light for that. He's not going to assume Pofke can't do that. I know DOWSEY has a lot of respect for Pofke, considers him a very strong opponent. One of the stronger opponents DOWSEY's probably going to play in silver this year right out of the gate here. Technically the week 2 opponents, I believe, for DOWSEY, waiting on a pending match with Checker, who obviously was busy building that shark for us.
Yeah.
But Pofke, an early season test for DOWSEY for sure, and he's got to like the results so far.
51% on the first flirt. Has the inspect from the start of the game. 2 minutes and 15 to play.
He's got the inspects out of the way, but it also means that he's already got that highlight. He's already a suspect. And DOWSEY, like I've been saying this all night about guys like Yeesh, these really good snipers, once they start looking at you, it's rough because they know etiquette. They don't always stare at it. They can't always afford to, right? Because, you know, they've got that tool in their toolbox, but they still got the same number of hands to wield the tools with, so they can't always watch. But once they start zooming in on a few people, then you have to play a really clean game to get stuff by them.
Pofke is playing this pretty slowly now. Minute and 35, and not any more progress since the last time we checked in. Now stepping in for the second flirt, he almost needs a green here.
Yeah, he's going to be in big trouble if he doesn't hit this.
Doesn't hit it. It's a white test. 85% is oftentimes not 100%.
Yep. 100% of the time, it's not 100%. And here's what's really tough about that. You could still go do something in flirt, but now you have to go do something in between.
Yeah.
You need to go get mission progress done right now somewhere else to break up the flirts if you don't want to be rushing at the end. And as we saw from DOWSEY last game, that's a recipe for disaster.
Double agent bails on him.
Something else.
Timer is such... This is such a bad...
Yeah, he's bouncing from conversation to conversation. And that's the kind of thing DOWSEY's going to notice late in the game. That's what you're looking for. Sometimes you can catch the spy just by looking for that level of activity.
Contact into fake contact into purloin. No, just
It's
a
got
regular
it. Nope.
take.
I really thought it was going to be, and then go flirt while the purloin's about to come off.
Oh, he wanted the fingerprint.
I don't like it.
Didn't
It
get it. I don't like it either.
It would have been his first.
What's the play here?
I don't. I guess bug. The amba's right there.
It has to be. Here's the
Purloin.
seduce. It's not going to be in time to stop overtime. 100%.
That's the least of our problems. Can we even
6
finish
seconds.
though? You'll take overtime at this
4
point.
seconds. There's the bug, and it takes, but not well enough to avoid DOWSEY's shot. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the match 7-3.
Wow. Felt a little closer than the actual score would indicate. When I'm looking at that bug, that whole thing at the end, it's actually surprisingly good for a last-second desperation bug. What's really suspicious about it is just the bouncing around and the walking near Amba at the right time. But it's not a desperation bug. It's a lot better looking than a lot of desperation bugs we see. I actually think Pofke made a decent run at it there. Tried to do the same kind of thing as DOWSEY, though, and ended the same way.
It looked like DOWSEY was onto him on the way in. But if not for that, that would have been beautiful.
I mean, the bug could be invisible, and DOWSEY still got to shoot there, is the thing.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It was a surprisingly good bug. It just wasn't a surprisingly good time to bug.
Yeah? Man, those were 3 very good sets. I don't think it's hard to match up to the middle one, but
you might be understating that just a tiny bit. Yeah, a 6-0 lead that turns into a tie. Certainly. In this case, though, just a really strong set from DOWSEY. And if you were wondering, which DOWSEY are we getting? Are we getting Season 4 DOWSEY, or are we getting Rusty Winter Cup DOWSEY? I'm really sorry to tell you, people in silver, I think you're getting the former.
And I think that'll about do it for us tonight.
Yes, that indeed will do it. All right, the game is SpyParty. You can get it on Steam or at SpyParty.com, probably. Yeah, SpyParty.com. The league is SCL. We are in our 5th season, and we will be having casts on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight on Saturdays, and Sundays will be 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight again. I'm Slappy Davis. Caster 1 is Taboshi.
Hey.
Caster 2 is Morning Track.
Hello, and just a quick reminder, Go to SpyParty. Join the Discord, discord.gg/SpyParty. You can join this league and get your games casted still. We have a format available for late signups. You can sign up if you want to.
Indeed, and also check out SpyParty fans to check out the SCL standings and games. Sometimes you might not want to check out all of the most recent games on SCL, just in case you want to see what gets cast first before you check out the results. But other than that, it's a great resource. There's a new game finder, and there's also a brand new map that just came out. What was it, last night, or was it the night before?
In the middle of the night, Eastern time. I know because I decided to go to bed rather than wait up for it. I made that mistake with Panopticon about 4 years ago, by the way. I went to bed at 4 a.m. that night to see the new venue. But yes, the new venue is Aquarium, and there's a big freaking shark in it. And that is not DLC. That comes free with the base game. So why on earth wouldn't you buy it? There's a shark in it. Again, I tell you.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us. And it's venue, yeah. And that'll do it for us. And we will see you next week.